Hi, I'm Bobby Rio, and we're back with some more girl getting secrets. Today, we're going to be talking about getting the kiss. We're going to talk about going in for the kiss, and also going to go over the steps for a good first kiss. So, what to expect in this video? In this video, it's going to be a how-to guide for going for and getting the kiss. What to say and do, and then of course the attitude and the way you come across as you say or do it. The first kiss is important on a whole variety of levels. I mean, we've all had that perfectly nice time with a woman where we sensed a connection with her, but for some reason the date ended and we totally blew it with the kiss. Going for the kiss with a woman and how you go about making your move says more about you than anything that could come out of your mouth the entire night. A woman will always be reading between the lines as she's out with you, and certain characteristics of a man are revealed by his attempt to kiss her. A woman can learn a lot about your attempt. Are you a dominant leader type? Are you shy and timid? How experienced are you? How much social intelligence, social intuition do you have? Do you understand women? Are you scared of women? It is also a make or break moment, and the reason I call going for the kiss a make or break moment or getting the kiss is because if you don't get the kiss, you really don't have anything. If you hang out with a girl, a kiss sort of seals the deal that, like, it wasn't just a friendly encounter. I mean, you can hang out with a girl, have the best conversation in the world, but if you don't kiss her, there's still the risk that you're going to run into the friend zone or that she's not going to follow up or reciprocate your interest. Getting the kiss lets you know that it was more than just a friendly interaction. It also sets the tone for future interactions. What I mean by that is that if you go in and get the kiss the first time you hang out with her, the next time you hang out with her, there is a ton less pressure. I mean, you can next time just walk right in and get back right where you left off. You can kiss her immediately. A lot more likely that you're going to get more intimate sex, whatever you're going for, if you've already gotten the kiss out of the way. However, if you go 2 or 3 dates and you still haven't gotten the kiss, you're heading either into A, friend zone territory, or B, boyfriend territory. Now, if the girl is some girl that you really, really like, I still always recommend going for it sooner. But some girls, if they really like you and they really think you're a player, they'll hold out just to see if you're interested. But anytime you wait longer than a date or two to get the kiss, you're really running the risk of putting yourself in the wrong zone, whether it be boyfriend, friend zone. You're not going to be in the potential lover zone, which is where you always want to be. So let's talk about some of the big mistakes going for the kiss. Now, I realize there's about 8 big mistakes going for the kiss. The first big mistake is going in for the kiss too soon. Although I'd always advise a guy to go for the kiss too soon rather than too late, and that's because she'll respect you much more if you go for it, it also can be a defeating behavior. A lot of times women already have a set timetable in their mind how long they need to hang out with a guy before they'll kiss him. And sometimes if you go for it too soon, even if she has a desire to kiss you, she'll resist your attempt just because it wasn't congruent with the timetable she's already established. Women will establish these timetables for a couple of reasons, mainly to avoid looking like a slut to a man, to his friends, to her friends, or to herself. So even if you're feeling an incredible urge to kiss her really early on, you got to be conscious as to where she is emotionally in the interaction. Because if she's like totally not ready for it, it could throw her off and could throw you off. And actually the next big mistake is retracting after the initial rejection. Now, as I just mentioned, a lot of times a woman will want to kiss you, but won't because she doesn't feel it's quite the right time. And a lot of times these women will turn their cheek or push you away as you go for the kiss. Now, most men retreat like little scared boys at this point. They get so upset at the rejection that they spend the rest of the night sulking, and they never even bother to attempt to kiss her again. What this does is it leaves the woman extremely disappointed, and it also exposes you as a man who's insecure about himself, that can't handle small obstacles. If you truly sense a connection with a woman and she's sending you the signals, don't let a small rejection stop you from attempting to kiss her again later on. Like I said, a lot of times the women have a timetable in their mind, and sometimes you just have to get past that timetable. And also what you want to keep in mind is just the mere act of attempting to kiss her again after a rejection makes you appear dominant, confident, aggressive, and really different from all the other guys who would have crept away with their tail between their legs. The next mistake, and this was one of my big ones, and one of the reasons I early on had a lot of difficulty kissing women, is not using touch as a precursor. A woman generally needs to have some anticipation building before the kiss. In fact, I'd say that for a woman, the build-up and the anticipation is probably better than the physical act. And most guys skip this altogether, and this really bothers women. Sometimes it irks them enough that they won't kiss a guy simply because he didn't have the skills to do it right. The best way to build up to a kiss and let her know that it's coming is to begin touching her more. Touching, it can begin with lightly touching her elbows as you talk to her, putting your hand on her back when you lean in, or holding her hand as you guide her through a room. But it needs to begin. Once you sense that a woman's completely comfortable with you touching her, then you can be pretty sure she's ready to be kissed. Another big mistake is asking for permission. Now, this is really nice guy behavior, and way too many men feel like they need a woman's permission to kiss her. Usually, when this happens, you'll completely wait for a completely inappropriate time and announce to the woman that you really want to kiss her. This isn't what a woman wants. Yeah, a woman wants to know it's coming, but not with words. She wants to know it's coming because you started touching her more, or you're looking at her a little bit longer, or you've slowed down your speech. When you ask a woman for permission to kiss her, you're giving her the power. Women, even in today's day and age, want a man who commands power. They don't want to hold the power, especially in the physical end of a relationship like this. The next mistake is going in for the kiss in front of an audience. Now, a lot of times women, just like they have a timetable of when they'll kiss a guy, a lot of times they often don't like to do it in front of their friends or in front of his friends because it makes them self-conscious, it makes them look easy, it makes them look like a slut. So what you need to do if you're going to go in for the kiss is you more than likely you want to get her in a isolated environment. You want to take a walk with her away from her friends and your friends. You want to maybe go outside if you're at a bar, or you want to go into another room or go out for some fresh air. You want to get her away from everybody, because when you go in front of the audience, I mean, yes, a lot of girls will kiss you in front of an audience, especially in college. A lot of times in college, girls just, if there's drinking involved, they don't care. But you do run the risk of a girl who does care, and then you ruin your opportunity because you went in, you freaked her out since you did it in front of everybody, and now she's less likely to want to do it later. So what is the next mistake? Number 6 is missing the moment. And this is another extremely common blunder men make. And this is where you talk yourself right past the moment. This is when you're scared, you're timid, and maybe even feeling insecure. And this attitude makes you think there's something wrong with kissing a woman. For some reason, you can't accept the fact that a woman actually wants to kiss you. So you keep looking for more proof and more proof and more proof until the moments pass and the woman is walking out the door. I was the king of this back in the day. I mean, I would sit on a couch with a girl until like 3 in the morning, talking to her and talking to her, just like waiting to be certain and sure that she wanted to kiss me. And you're never really gonna get that certain sureness. You just have to go for it. There's a certain moment when both you and the woman can sense it's time for a kiss. Your gut will tell you when that moment has arrived. It'll be really clear to the both of you. And once you sense that moment, you gotta go for the kiss. If you miss that moment, a woman will look at you as a guy who doesn't have any social intelligence and will probably lose whatever traction she was feeling towards you. That being said, you don't want to wait for the perfect moment. If you're waiting for the perfect moment, it's usually because you're scared or insecure, just the same way as the guys who miss the moment. A lot of guys have been programmed by romantic comedies that there's a perfect time and a place for the first kiss. And they feel like they can't have the first kiss in a bar or in public or in their car. And they believe that the only appropriate time for a first kiss is at the very end of the night. Here is a lesson you need to learn. There is no perfect time for a first kiss. You need to kiss a girl the minute you sense that the two of you are sharing a connection and attraction. I've had some of my best kisses in the most inappropriate spots. In fact, the more spontaneous the kiss, the more the woman will likely view you in an attractive way. She'll think of you as a more of a fun, adventurous, spontaneous guy, which women find really attractive. The final big mistake going for the kiss is misreading a woman's interest level. And no one's above this. I mean, we've all been there. We've all been hanging out with a girl who's extremely nice to us, and in our desperate search for sex, we convince ourselves that she's sexually attracted to us. And even though the woman isn't giving us the usual signs like touching us, staring into our eyes, displaying nervousness, or verbally suggesting anything that should lead us to believe she wants us to kiss her, we mistakenly believe she wouldn't be so nice if she didn't like me. Well, yeah, in fact she would. In fact, if a woman's being too nice and too polite and not displaying any nervousness or tenseness, she probably views you as non-threatening, which is the worst kind of guy you can be. So those are the main 8 mistakes going for the kiss. Now, we talked about misreading a woman's sign and kind of like knowing when it's time to kiss her. So what are some ways, what are some signs that she wants to be kissed and that it's time that you gotta go for it? Holding eye contact and her giving you giddy eyes. Ross Jeffries refers to them as the doggy dinner bowl look. Now, it's very hard to explain the eyes that I'm talking about, but you'll know them when you see them. She'll be kind of like looking at you, holding eye contact. The same way almost, I guess I realize why he calls it the doggy dinner bowl look. Almost the same way a dog is like looking at you when it's time to be fed and you haven't given him his food yet. So he's kind of like looking at you like, when's it coming? When's it coming? Well, women will often give you those same eyes. Physical proximity. That's another good one. When a woman's ready to be kissed and when she wants to be kissed, she's going to get closer to you and she's going to be like putting herself in a position to be kissed. She'll be leaning up against you. If she's sitting down, let's say you're on a couch, she'll like let her leg touch your leg on the couch. She'll just be making herself available for it. I mean, that's like one of the biggest ones is the physical proximity. This is especially true if, let's say, you're in a bar and she's like leaning up against you, and like, women aren't doing that to guys that they know that that's sending a signal that they want to be kissed. So if a woman's doing that, she's ready to be kissed. Hand contact's another one. If she's like holding your hand or she's rubbing your hand, I mean, the minute she lets you hold her hand for a while, it's a good sign that she wants to be kissed. Another good one is comfortable silences. I mean, we're all afraid of awkward silences, but there comes a point where like you're talking to a woman and you don't feel the need to fill the air because it's very comfortable, and it's kind of like everything slows down. Now that is a good indication that it's time to go in for the kiss. Uh, when everything goes slow and she stops talking and you stop talking, now if you start talking again and bring back the rapport and get back into another topic, you just blew a moment. When that silence comes, you have to shift gears, maybe start rubbing her hand, smelling her hair, running your hands through her hair. You got to do something at that point that says, okay, let's just enjoy this silence and kiss. So how do you go for the kiss? Well, first thing you got to do is you have to break rapport, because here's the thing. Let's say you're with a girl, you're having a great conversation, you sense that there's a strong connection, but the problem that we run into, and like I said earlier, the problem that I ran into a lot was I'd be having this great conversation with a girl, and I couldn't stop talking. And that often happens. Like, we'll be sitting on let's say a couch after a date, and we'll be talking about, let's just say we're talking about a TV show or something that we both like, and we keep talking about it and talking about it, but that is not going to let you kiss her because you're talking too much about something. You're in too much rapport, so you need to break it. Now, how do you break rapport? I mean, the easiest way I like to break rapport is with physicality. I'll be playful. I'll push her away, and I'll be like, shut up already, or I'll like tickle her. I'll tease her. A good example, a lot of times, let's say I'm on a couch with a girl and we're having this discussion and stuff. All of a sudden, I'll just start pushing her off the couch. Like, I'll kind of keep edging over to eventually like knock her off the couch, and then all of a sudden she'll realize what I'm doing, and it'll like stop that whole like deep conversation we were in, and all of a sudden we're like playfully pushing each other. And right there is an easy way to go in for the kiss once you start that physicality. The hands, like I said, using your hands to feel her out. When you're ready to kiss a girl, the best and easiest thing to do is, when you're ready to kiss a girl, the best and easiest thing to do is touch her hand and kind of see how she responds. Hold her hand for a minute or two, kind of like maybe caress her arm a little bit, and if she's into it and she's liking it, and maybe even she like kind of grips your hand back, or she runs her hand over your hand, that's a pretty good sign that she's ready to be kissed. And at that point you got to go for it. Another one is the pre-kiss, and that's where you give her a little kiss on the cheek before you go in for the real kiss. That's something that, my feeling is almost like if you're going to go in for the kiss, go for the real one. But a lot of times what's good is, like, this is especially true if like you're excited about something and you're both like talking about something, you're like, you're the coolest, and you just like kiss her on the cheek, and then you look at her and it's like, all right, let's go in for the real one now. That's a great way to do it. Mid-sentence is my absolute favorite. I first discovered this a few years back, and for me, it was like I said, my biggest problem was always breaking that rapport and shutting up and missing the moment. So what I learned was mid-sentence kiss. That's where like the girl's just talking, and you just kind of look at her and like kind of have a smile on your face, and like she's like, what? And you're just like looking at her, and all of a sudden you just lean in and kiss her. To me, that not only is it easy to do, once you get over your fear of doing it, you don't have to wait. You just, right as she's talking, you look at her and you kind of like give her a little look and let her talk, and kind of give a look like you're not even paying attention anymore, and then just lean in and kiss her. I've never had a girl freak out. I've never had a girl turn her cheek when I've done it that way, and I've in fact had women tell me it was like extremely turned them on. And most times, the most girls that I've kissed, the last handful of girls, has always been mid-sentence. It's just it's really powerful. It's really my favorite way to do it. So let's talk about kiss closes. I mean, To me, like I said, mid-sentence is my favorite. I also like the just running my hands and just physicality. But I know that some of you, and I was like this in the past as well, we like to kind of precursor a kiss with some kind of verbal indication we're going to kiss her, and sort of use what is referred to as the kiss close. Here are some common kiss closes that I know guys have had success with, so I figure I'll pass them along to you just in case you prefer to use them. The first one is the hug kiss close. And this is best used at the end of a meeting or a date. Like, this is like if you missed a moment during the date and you haven't kissed her yet and you don't want to leave the date without kissing her. At the end, you say, well, give me a hug because it's way too soon for a first kiss. Then you hug her, and then you say, well, now that we successfully passed the hugging stage, we can kiss. And you kiss her. This is for a girl who you had good rapport with, you shared a lot of laughter with, but for some reason you didn't have an opportunity to kiss her early on. That's a great way to do it because it keeps the fun vibe alive, and it also just lets you kiss her. Another way is the rating close. This is when you have a girl that you're like kind of being real playful with, and you're qualifying a lot. And that's where you say something like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good of a kisser are you? They'll usually say a 10. The hot chicks want to sustain their value as a hot chick. They'll usually say like 9 or 10. And as soon as they say that, kiss her. Why does this work? It works because you're challenging how good of a kisser she is. After it's done, say in a cocky and funny sort of tone, that was terrible. Let's do it again and see what you really got. See, that's like just a way of qualifying or making it fun. It's like a good way to get the close. The intent close, I kind of warned against this, like where you're asking permission, but if you do it in a real confident way and you say something like, I'm trying really hard not to kiss you right now, and then lean in and kiss her, but don't wait for her to say, it's okay to kiss me. You know, if you're going to make your intent like, I really want to kiss you, then kiss her. Don't wait for her to say okay, or don't wait for her to lean in for the kiss. Another one, my other favorite, is the tickle wrestle close. Now, this was like back before I learned the mid-sentence. Tickle wrestle was my favorite because, like I said, I always had trouble breaking that rapport of talking back and forth. So what the tickle wrestle did was I would either start tickling a girl or wrestling with her, kind of just playfully fighting with her. And then right at the peak of the interaction, you just kiss her. I mean, if she's wrestling with you and you're in like a tickle war with her, there is a physical attraction going on. So just go for the kiss. You'll 9 out of 10 times get it. So let's now talk about the actual kiss. I found this video. It kind of goes through some things that are bad in a kiss, some things that are good in a kiss. And I think it's a good video to watch because it shows this, you'll watch the guy and the girl, and the woman who's speaking has a little bit of an accent, but if you pay attention, you can hear what she's saying. She's explaining what kind of kiss is bad, what kind of kiss is good. Now, the last kiss that he does is the good one, and I'll point it out as it comes on, but just watch the video.
Hi, this is Katarina with co-author of How to Get the Man You Want, How to Get the Woman You Want. You can tell a lot about someone what they'll be like in and out of the bedroom by that first kiss. Flunk it, and chances are that is as far as you get.
She's right about that. If the kiss isn't good, a lot of women remember that.
Bad breath. You want to turn them on, not knock them out with your breath. So remember to brush, floss, and gargle regularly. And avoid eating onion or garlic before going in for that pash. To make an unforgettable impression, start slow and take the lead. Don't jump straight in unless you're sure that's what they like. Want to avoid getting thrown into the bad kisser basket? Here are the major kissing turn-offs to avoid. The first kissing turn-off is the mouth-wide kiss. If you want them to remember you for the right reasons, avoid devouring their entire face and swallowing their nose in the process. They don't want to know what you had for lunch. Nothing's going to turn someone off faster than the dead fish kiss. If you're into them, then make sure you're into the kiss as well. And whatever you do, don't just lie there like a corpse. The hard kiss, usually accompanied by a grab of the hair or pushing up against a hard surface, can be a major turn-off. Of course, if they lunge at you first and they're into it, then it's all systems go, go, go. Don't turn kissing into a competition to see how long they can hold their breath. You might not be able to get your hands off them, but
It's true. A lot of kissing is about push and pull, which means kind of pull away every once in a while, make her want it, go back in. It's a very rhythmic sort of thing to be doing.
Now, guys in particular, you might think they're hot, but darting your tongue in and out of their mouth like a snake isn't likely to do much for your chances. Of course, if they go for the French patch, go for it. Just don't overdo it. There's a reason that it's generally guys that go for the full-on sloppy kiss. A big, wet, open-mouth kiss releases testosterone, which helps get her in the mood. But swallowing a liter of your saliva might feel a little bit too much too soon. Now, we don't need to tell you what's wrong with the mouth lick. Licking somebody's mouth up and down is just plain weird. Want more? To find out how to give them a kiss they'll never forget and receive over 10 super hot videos revealing the secret to how to get the one you want, absolutely free, register your details at howtogetthewoneyouwant.com/free videos or check out our blockbuster two-sided book, How to Get the Man You Want, How to Get the Woman You Want.
That is what a good kiss should look like. Sort of going in, stopping, kissing her. That is a good kiss.